Yeah, I see. Yeah, the meeting is called to order. Um, You want, does somebody want to call the roll, or shall I just do it? Hey, Commissioner Palmer, you here? Commissioner Doherty,
Here.
Commissioner Conde,
Here.
and Commissioner Berry.
Here.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
I move to approve the agenda.
A second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed,
Aye.
no. Passes unanimously. I guess we have two prior meeting minutes to approve. Does anybody have any changes to any of these minutes or concerns? Could we have a motion to approve both sets of minutes for June and July?
I move that we accept the minutes from the June and July meeting of the Oregon Racing Commission.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, say no. Passes unanimously. The next item on our agenda is the Executive Director's Report. Connie.
Good morning, everyone.
Good
For the
afternoon.
record, my name is Connie Nguyen, Chair Williamson and Commissioner. I am the Executive Director of the Racing Commission, and I have the following report for you. And my report just disappeared from the screen. One moment. Technology, it's so wonderful most of the time. All right, so I'm going to start with this. I have some really great news and some really sad news. Next week, 2 new ORC commissioners will be up for confirmation. The sad news is that if all goes well, this will be the last commission meeting for both Chair Williamson and Commissioner Palmer. Both have been a huge part of the commission. Chair Williamson started on the commission September 18, 2011. Commissioner Palmer began on July 1st, 2015. Please join me in thanking them for all they have done over the years for the commission. Give them it would have been much more dramatic if we were in person. I'm sorry about that. Now, both of you have been sent plaques in advance. So if for some reason you get the plaque and the people aren't confirmed, just think of it as wishful thinking, because you'll still be on. And hopefully we'll get a word from each of you at the end during the comment period or something if you'd like to say something. But again, we will really miss both of you. I know it doesn't even seem real at this point. It's been so long. Since our last commission meeting, the commercial meet at Grants Pass has commenced their fall meet. I've been to most of the races and things are running smoothly. The track is in excellent condition and we have a lot of horses on site. The field size has been very good. Last time I was there, there were some 9-horse races, 2 10-horse races. I think the smallest race was booked at 7 horses. So they've all been very good. They've been able to do 8 races pretty much each time. I've been invited to the House Committee on Gambling to present our progress on the audit, as well as how the Oregon Racing Commission is making a difference in Oregon. The presentation is scheduled to be held on September 27th at 8:30 a.m. I'm excited to share our progress we have made and the great things we are doing at the Commission. I'm also honored that Commissioner Doherty has volunteered to accompany me. I also wanted to commend Micah Lloyd, our Director of Mutuals, who was recently asked if he would chair one of the Association of Racing Commissions international committees. Whether he chooses to take that additional task on or not, it is worth noting that he has made a name for himself as a top regulator in less than a year on job. The governor's office has launched many initiatives and we are making great progress on them. At the next ORC meeting, we will be presenting our new diversity and equity and inclusion program, as well as our continuity of operations plan. We have also completely revamped our orientation process and placed these online for better access. In addition, we've launched our new strategic planning committee. Dr. Everman and presiding Stuart Twiggs and I have been discussing medication rules and track safety. After the meet has concluded, we will be discussing formal recommendations to better protect our athletes. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Connie. Any questions or comments for Ms. Nguyen? Thank you very much. I was on the commission, I think, in 2007, but we'll see. I don't have anything in front of me right now, but I think it's 16 years. The next item on our agenda is a report from the HRA.
Good afternoon, Director Ms. Nguyen, Chair Williamson, and Commissioners. And I just want to say, first of all, thank you, Chair Williamson, for your service with the commission, and also Ms. Palmer. It's been great working with both of you, and we are really gonna miss you. So, but as Connie mentioned, we've had a live race meet going here at Grants Pass. We've had six race days so far. We're halfway through the meet. Things have gone really well. As Connie mentioned, we keep increasing our field sizes, and we're excited about that. Overall, we've had 47 races so far with 297 starters. So that average is 6.32 horses per start. Also, Emerald, we've been building as Emerald Downs has been getting to the end of their meet. And so last week we had 16 races. We had 118 starters with 7.38 horses per start. This coming Sunday and Monday, we probably have between 6 and 8 10-horse fields, with a lot of 7 and 8s and 9 horse fields. So we're excited about this coming weekend. We're going to have the biggest fields that we've had so far at our race meet. We have lots of horses. We've had to go ahead and lease some other property, the property that Travis Boersma owns, adjacent to the fairgrounds, that has 210 stalls on it. We've leased that property, and we have most of that full of horses right now. So we're excited. We're excited about seeing how our fall race meet has come together. We've had, like Connie said, we've had a very safe racetrack. We've had 2 little incidences with jockeys where they have taken a spill. But I'm glad to report that we've had very minor injuries. One has a fractured thumb, and one had a fracture in its ankle or leg. So outside of that, that's the only incidents that we've had at the racetrack. Our total purses so far has been $394,457. So that's an average purse of $8,392 per race. And that's out of 47 races. Our OTB network, we're streaming our races live to our OTB networks in the state of Oregon. We have 10 of those in the state that we're able to take wagers at also. So we're happy that we got that going, and that our Oregon horsemen, if they can't make it to the racetrack, that they can go to their local OTB and wager on the races also. So the OTBs have been really stable. I think we're about $9 million plus for the year so far that our OTBs have handled. So super excited. Looking forward to the last 6 days of racing. We're just hoping and praying that the weather will hold for us and that we can have as good a races as we've had so far. And that's the conclusion of my report.
Thank you very much, Rod. That's great. Could you just identify yourself for the record, please?
Rod Lowe, Director of Racing, Grants Pass Downs.
Thank you, Rod.
Yep.
Any questions or comments for Rod?
No, great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, that is really terrific. Our next item on the agenda is the Eastern Oregon Livestock Show Race Meet Report. Who is going to give that?
Chair Williamson, if they're not here, they were having a hard time getting on. So if we don't hear from them in a minute, I think we're going to have to assume that they'll go on the next agenda.
Okay. Why don't we take another item on the agenda and see if they show up, and we can always come back to them.
Chair Williamson, if I may, real quick, just in case they do not appear, we did receive a written report that I would suggest we make part of the minutes, regardless of whether they present or not.
That's fine. Can you submit that, or Connie, do you have that?
I can submit.
Without objection, it's part of the minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you. So the next item on our agenda is discussion and possible approval of the additional funds for the racing secretary, United Tote, and jockey insurance. Connie, are you going to present this?
Yeah, I have the SOS audit next, but yes, that's fine. We'll do the
Oh,
fund.
I'm sorry. You're right. Let's do the SOS audit.
Okay. I actually have a presentation, but I'm disabled on this side, so you'll just have to hear me talk instead of looking at my pretty screens I put together. So if you have not already seen our audit, I can let you know that we had, there were 4 recommendations for our commission, and we've agreed that all 4 should be addressed. The first one was to add requirements either in policy or rule to evaluate new and changes to game and wagering operations to ensure there is no conflict with state constitution and statute. So what we did was we have created 2 rules. The staff have created 2 rules. The commission has approved us to go through the rulemaking process that's already occurred. We have a fiscal and advisory committee meeting, which is scheduled to meet on October 19th, and then the rules will be filed and made final. The rules that we had created, I worked very closely with the Department of Justice, as well as the SOS auditing team to ensure that they felt that it met the criteria that was in the recommendation. And I took their, and I want to thank both groups for their recommendations. We plan on continuing annual reviews on the process and rules. We do understand that technology changes. We currently have some things at DOJ right now, and more requirements or recommendations may be appropriate to add in rules as time goes on. In addition to the Assistant Attorney General and Department of Justice have also been directed on our behalf to assess and confirm that the current licensees comply with Oregon statutes and Constitution. Since the release of the SOS audit, we have had 4 meetings with our Assistant Attorney General on this subject to give her the necessary information to make a decision on the compliance with those for us. Recommendation number 2, enhance rules and develop policies and procedures for allocating and reviewing the use of alternative deposit wagering hub funds. So what these are hub funds that do not go directly to the fair meet. They go to the associations or the track. Soon after the new director started, that would be me, efforts began to correct the lack of accountability and documentation that was required for the non-fair meat hub fund distributions. That began last September. This included an immediate requirement for additional information on applications, immediate schedule of and audits of the last funds distributed, and provide clear expectations that new rules and policies would be further developed. And I think all the associations can agree that that's been communicated. Going forward, we have further filed an amendment to rule outlining our new requirements for hub fund accountability that is in process, including a fiscal advisory committee that will meet in a few weeks. In addition, we have created an audit assurance program and robust application process. Consultation, as I've mentioned, with the SOS and the Department of Justice to ensure that they meet the needs. Recommendation number 3, ensure commission meetings minutes provide clear and transparent communication approval detail, including attachments received by the commission to inform action approvals. Beginning in September of 2022, all attachments that were sent out to the commissioners were also sent to our distribution list of interested parties. Beginning January of 2023, the Oregon Racing Commission started posting full meeting videos, written materials, except for confidential documents and provided by law, and the approved written minutes. This presentation I'm reading off of, I will send to the commissioners, and we will post that to our website along with the recording and the report that was submitted. Number 4, ensure documents of its licensees' reviews are maintained and safeguarded. In September, the ORC implemented a dual control storage system. The system requires all audit and sensitive documents that are not stored in other systems to be kept in 2 separate network drives for redundancy. This was a sufficient solution for the SOS audit team. In addition, ORC has completed a technology strategic plan, which includes further systems which would modernize this process. A little more about the findings on the documentation. This finding was based on some of the historical horse racing annual checklists that were missing. The ORC does not take this finding lightly. However, the auditing program ORC put together far exceeded any other jurisdiction at that time. No other jurisdictions used a similar checklist or had an independent audit assurance program. The ORC will continue working towards improved documentation processes. Continuing on the HHR, like all jurisdictions, ORC used a third-party vendor to complete testing, and there was a change on anything where there was a change on equipment, the software, or any related technology. This included adding code to confirm that no additional changes had been made. All these reports have been maintained. The ORC developed and used a comprehensive audit assurance program with expertise from Gaming Laboratory International. They're considered the gold standard. Furthermore, the ARCI, the Association of Racing Commissioners International, has adopted these standards based on the work that we did in Oregon as best practices for other jurisdictions. We have maintained all GLI audit reports, all ORC certification letters, all emails, approving the verification of the code, all third-party tote reports, all daily fee reports, all tax verification forms. For clarification, the SOS audit stated that they did not evaluate the HHR historical horse racing audit process that was used back at Portland Meadows, not that was unacceptable. That concludes my presentation on the audit findings. Are there any questions?
Thank you, Connie. That's tremendous work. Any questions or comments for Connie?
No questions, just a comment. I want to congratulate Connie and the staff of the ORC for both handling the audit and the way that they have handled the findings and collaborated with the audit team, and for the job that they have been making prior and after the audit to hear, assess, and implement those recommendations.
And I would like to echo what the commissioner said. And I think the important thing is, and what hopefully the committee next week will understand, is that many of these changes were implemented before the audit came out. And so I think some of the things were based on some past things that had happened, and that they were already begun, and that there was no problem with, you know, the 4 suggestions. They were good ones and ones that we plan to follow. So thank you very much, Connie.
Any further comments? Well spoken, both of you, Margaret and Diego. Anybody here from the Eastern Oregon Livestock Show here yet? Well, let's go on to the next item on our agenda. I just should say good luck with the commit with the your meeting next week, Connie. I think your work on the SOS should help. Discussion and possible approval of additional funds for the racing secretary, United Tote, and jockey insurance. So, Connie, are you going to present that?
Yes, Chair Williamson, Connie Wynn for the record. We had a earlier meeting. We had discussed the possibility of raising the secretary, the racing secretary's daily wage by $200 a day to ensure that we could get someone and keep them because of the inflation recently. The commission did approve that with the caveat that we had to have the funds to be able to pay for it. As it turns out, I believe we do, but I need to give you some additional information before we take a vote on it and explain how. We did have, in addition to this, 2 other bills that came in much higher than what we projected. One was the jockey insurance, and one was United Tote. The jockey insurance was approved at $94,387. The jockey insurance is expected at $120,420. This is a difference of $26,033. United Tote was budgeted for $34,740. The actual was $36,516 for a difference of $1,776.84. And what that really means is over the next 2 years, this year and next year, we would need a total extra of $52,066 to cover jockey insurance. As we've mentioned, we've had a couple injuries, so that won't go down. It may not go up, but it won't go down. And an extra $3,553 for United Tote. In addition to that, we also had a 6% pay raise approved for all state employees. That was not a funded pay raise increase. We had budgeted for a 3% pay raise, plus an additional 6.55% pay raise the following year. Again, we had budgeted for 3%. So the total of that means that we're going to have to come up with an extra $111,448.07 over the biennium. Now, the good news is we've had some savings. Some of these savings are very small, but I'd like to talk about those first. We had, not in savings, but every one of the fair meets did better than last year. because of that, we're expecting an extra $1,173 in our portion of the handle. I'm going to recommend that we use some of that money towards the racing secretary. We also had an extra $5,000 that we had set aside for the track consultant that we did not spend. So between those two, we have far more than the $3,600 that we would need for the additional $200 a day. If you vote to approve that, the way that I would handle it is I would have Miss Rome, our parimutuel supervisor, when she sends them their bill, she would make an annotation on there to subtract that amount. So they would just pay us that much less back. And you're probably saying, how is that? Are these numbers adding up? Because you still have another $111,000 that you need to get. The additional money, we feel that we're going to easily get an extra $200,000 this biennium because of a minute rule that we usually don't use, allowing us to charge additional money for affiliates if they hit a certain cap. Because of an audit that Micah just finished, we realized that 2 of the affiliates from Churchill Downs have reached that cap and will be paying a lot of extra money over the next 2 years. So that should easily cover it. There are unknowns. We don't know what's going to happen when we get rid of Greyhound. But right now we feel pretty good about that. What I would like to recommend is that we have to pay the jockey insurance and United Tote. And we have the money for that. The total amount budgeted covers that. It just doesn't give us enough money for next year. So we'll have to get that savings for next year. And I would recommend that we go ahead and approve the additional money for the racing secretary for this year.
So Connie, can you tell me exactly what kind of a motion you're looking for to have this approved?
I'm looking, well, I would say first, I would like to have a motion that we go ahead and refund the fair meets for the additional $200 a day for the racing secretary, which comes out to $3,600. That would be the first one. And the second one, we actually
Why don't we
have
just
money
do-
in there already. So I don't even think we need a motion because we've budgeted that. You need to be aware that we're going to come back at some point and ask for additional money to bring that jockey insurance fund and the United Tote Fund up later.
So I don't quite understand. I mean, I understand we're approving the $200 a day for the racing secretary. I don't understand about how that works with giving the money back to the fairs. Is this
so
a
the fairs-
retroactive raise?
Yeah, the fairs actually paid that money out to the racing secretaries. Racing secretary's already been paid that total amount.
Okay.
At the end of each fair meet, Miss Rome conducts a report where she assesses how much money is owed and due for different things, how much goes to each association, how much comes to the racing commission, how much is charged for all these different things. And there's usually a net balance due to the Oregon Racing Commission. And what I would direct her to do with your approval is to just deduct that $200 a day from the total they owe us.
Is there a motion to deduct that sum from what they owe us? Or if you can put it better, go ahead.
I move that we increase the salary of the racing secretary by $200 a day, and we will deduct that amount from the amount that the fairs owe us.
Thank you, Margaret. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Passes unanimously.
Chair Williamson, this is Rod Lowe.
Yes, sir.
I have a question for Connie on the United Tote bill. So there was supposed to be a reimbursement to HRA for United Tote for $20,811.07. HRA was billed for United Tote for the Sora meat, which the United Tote bills were all supposed to be paid for by the ORC for all fair meats. And so I don't know if that got missed or if that's part of your report, Connie.
Rod, let's get a call separate and discuss that. And Karen will be back next week. So I actually want to talk to you about a couple other topics anyway, so we can make sure we have that straightened out. I think that this is probably part of that, but let's make sure before we talk anymore.
All right. Thank you.
Any other comments, questions for Connie? And the Eastern Oregon folks, Eastern Oregon Livestock Show folks here. Okay. The next item on our agenda is to start rulemaking for the OAR 462-150-0120 review of new wagering technology. Connie, do you want to explain that, please?
Yes, I feel like this is a Connie show today. I can't wait till next time when we're doing mainly fair meets and I don't have to talk so much. Yes, the rule that is being proposed for the rulemaking process was created on recommendation from the auditing team. This is one of the things that they were very helpful on. When we originally had done our rule, we had done it specifically for online wagering technology, and they brought up the fact that we also needed to be more forward thinking and be thinking about any kind of technology changes, whether it be online or on ground. So this rule would cover that portion of it.
And do you need a motion from us to approve this, or is this notification that you're doing it?
We need your approval to start the rulemaking process.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve starting the rulemaking process for this OAR?
I make a motion that we start the rulemaking process on OAR 462-150-0120.
Thank you, Commissioner Doherty. Do we have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Berry. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, no. Passes unanimously. Public comment. There's no public comment.
Commissioner, if I could, please.
Yes,
Real quick, I just want to take a minute from the HBPA. First off, Commissioner, Chair Williamson, I think you're right, because I got to Oregon in 2008 and you were here then. So I think we're good there. So I just wanted to thank you on behalf of the HBPA and myself personally. It's been a joy to work with you, and you've done so much for racing, and I want to make sure that everyone should recognize that, because it's been an amazing run. And I also spent many frog meetings sitting at the left hand of Commissioner Palmer, and we sort of pushed her into running those meetings, and which was a great help to all of us, because Commissioner Palmer is somebody who knows how to get things done. And if you have been in any of her meetings when she chairs, whether it's frog or whether it's the budget subcommittee, you know that. So, and again, so I would just really like to express our appreciation and our admiration for all the job that both of you have done. So, and that is all I have.
If he could identify himself for the record, please.
This is Randy Bodine, Executive Director of the Oregon HBPA.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
okay. You want to say anything, Commissioner Palmer?
Thanks, Randy, and thanks to all of you. It was been quite a journey, and it actually started in 2011, Connie. So I, kind of just get rid of those first 4 years.
I got the dates off our website, so I'm gonna blame the website person.
Yeah,
So
Sorry
good
about
luck.
that. I
Good
guess
luck
we
to
can
all of
have
you.
your plaques reprinted then.
We'll just put a sticky note over it.
You were both here way before me, I know that.
All right. Good luck to everyone.
yeah.
Thank
Jan
you.
and I had a lot of early mornings at the frog meeting at Rolling Meadows. Yeah, I wish you guys the best of luck at keeping horse racing going. That's really been, I think, the struggle all along, and I sure hope that you're able to continue to succeed in that.
If I may, real quick, Charlie and
Sure.
Jan, both of you, I want to also extend my gratitude. Since I came into the commission, you were great mentors. Very different styles, but great mentors to me. I'm so sorry that Commissioner Barry and Dorothy are not going to have the extent of mentorship that I had from you. We've had some battles along the way, and you've guided me in the right direction or call me on it when I have stepped on it sometimes. So I really appreciate it, and you will be missed.
Thank you. There you go. I think we've really enjoyed working with all of you. And Margaret, I guess when I'm ousted, you're the chair, so you'll be in that capacity when you go to the legislature. I know you'll do a great job.
I did not know that, but thank you very much. And I do
Well, I think you will.
appreciate
You're vice chair, and then I just think it would be automatic.
Yes,
Um,
and again, echoing Diego, you did reach out when I first got on board. We met for lunch at since we both kind of grew up in the same or live in the same neighborhood, and I appreciated all of the input and that you've given, and also the same thing with Jan. Just I'm in awe of your knowledge of the equines, and truly appreciate what both of you have done.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank you.
very much. There are no, actually, the Eastern Oregon people are not here, correct? Speak now or forever hold your peace. No contested cases. The next meeting will be October 19th via Zoom at assume at 1:30. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second? 10 seconds. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, no. Passes unanimously. Thank you all. Good luck.